Namaste and welcome back to the channel on accreditations and nursing education. So in our previous video, we saw about the SOPs released by the NAC for the universities as well as the affiliated colleges. And in the last videos, we have also discussed about the schedule of the online visit, especially the 2 days visit for the affiliated colleges. In this video, I would be discussing you about the schedule for the universities, that is a peer team visits for the universities, which would be in the hybrid mode. So in reference with the SSR, that is the primary reference document, which is for the peer team, the following schedule is being guided for the peer team for efficient handling of the activities as well as the time schedule. So the day one visit would be starting from 9:30 to 10, wherein which the pre-visit meeting would be scheduled among all the peer team members. So in the last video, when I was discussing about the SOPs, I mentioned that an online link would be shared to the HEIs at around 9:25 a.m. That is, the link would be from MS. That is the Microsoft meeting would be scheduled, and that would be shared at 9:25 a.m. So after joining the online meeting, the all the peer team members, that is in the university, as it is in the hybrid mode, two members would be there on site and other members would be on the online mode. So they will be joining to the meeting, online members, and here with the offline members, all the peer team would be initially discussing about their pre-visit meeting. Here, basically, these all peer team members will be mainly focusing on the aspects of the QLM, that is given by the Higher Education Institute in their ESSR, and the choice of the departments, and regarding the physical facilities where all to visit will be decided by the team. And from 10 a.m. to 10:45 a.m., the visit scheduled will be scheduled starting by the presentation of the head of the institution. And in this presentation, the major aspects of the institutional functioning and the quality within the accreditation period would be discussed. And this particular sympathetic presentation of the how the institution is functioning would be also discussed. And during this online and the offline, because it is an hybrid mode visit, here the members which the NAC is mentioning to be present is the head of the institution would be there, the registrar of the university, the finance officers, the head of the departments, and the deans of the schools will be present during this presentation. This presentation, after the completion of this presentation, it would be next followed by the interaction with the IQAC coordinator or the director of the IQAC, wherein which they would be analyzing certain matrices particularly pertaining to the IQAC, that is 6.5.1, wherein which the internal quality assurance cell, what the contribution has been made for the higher education institutes in the previous academic years, and what are their assurance strategies the HEI has taken, and what is the process, how they are maintaining it, and by reviewing what are the teaching learning processes, their structures, their methodologies, their operation, and at what period of intervals these are being done would be evaluated by the peer team members. And during this visit also, the members may cross-check with the documentation of the IQAC, which are pertaining to the minutes of the meeting, what are the initiatives which they have taken, what is the vision, what is the mission of the IQAC. Then also they would be seeing what are any policies the IQAC has been drafted, what all the strategies pertaining to the teaching learning or any research with the IQAC has been taken, or any flow chart they have made for the trickling down of the process would be all evaluated during this visit, that is from 10:45 to 11:30. And during this visit, the members of the head of the institution, the IQAC director, and the members of the IQAC team would be completely present during this interaction. From 11:30 to 12:30, the presentation of the head of the departments and the deans of the schools would be done in their respective departments, and the head of the departments and the deans of the schools would be present over here. And these all presentation which I am speaking will be given to the NAC in the form of a Google Drive link for all the members also. And then from 12:30 to 11th, that is 1 o'clock, there will be an interaction session. It may be with the Dean Academics or any equivalent person, where basically they are discussing more on the academics, calendar planning, curricular planning, about the program outcomes, about the course outcomes, and what are the programs which the university is offering, and how they are being communicated. Then what this curriculum is there, what are the modalities in the curriculum delivery, what are the various student-centric methods, like example, if I say the experiential learning, the participative learning, and the problem-solving methodologies which are being used for enhancing the learning experience of the teachers also. What are the ICT tools the teachers are using? Any cross-cutting relevant issues are being embedded into the curriculum, like for example, the professional ethics, the gender, the human values, environment sustainability, whether are they present into our curriculum is also being assessed. And the members would also be looking after how the institute is conducting the internal assessment, and what is the criteria for attainment of the COs and POs. So during this interaction, the presence of the Dean Academics or an equivalent person, or and the IQAC coordinators and the consult faculty members of the institutions need to be present. And during this interaction, the matrices which they are going to cover as per the QLM is the 1.1.1, that is the curriculum developed, whether the curriculum developed is as per the need of the local, national, and global needs or not, and whether the curriculum is been reflecting with the program outcomes, the course outcomes, which is being offered by the university, will be assessed over here. In addition to that, 1.1.2, where in which the programs which are being offered by the university are focusing on the employability, entrepreneurship, skill development. These also would be seen, and the whether the revision of the syllabus has been taken place or what, and what are the revised things which have been incorporated into the curriculum, with what requirements would also be assessed. And also in the curriculum, it also would be seen whether the cross-cutting issues would be added or not, and what is the percentage of this particular cross-cutting issues into the curriculum would also be assessed. In addition to that, the going to check about how the curriculum is being enriched with the sustainable developmental goals, and also the National Education Policy 2020 in the curriculum is been implemented or not. That also would be assessed over here. Then the institution assess the learning levels of the students and organizes special programs to cater their differential learning needs of the students. That is the mentor-mentee programs, or you may that is in the 2.3.2 criteria. This is regarding the remedial classes, the advanced learner, the slow learners. This would be covered in this particular curriculum, the metrics. And in 2.2 or 3.1, what are the student-centric methods, which we have already discussed? What are the teaching pedagogical methods the teachers are been using to deliver this curriculum, and what are the ICT tools they are using? Whether are there any blended learning resources also, and what are the tools being utilized by the teachers also would be assessed here. In addition to that, as I already discussed regarding the advanced learners, slow learners, is there any policy including the mentor-mentee schemes regarding addressing of the academics issues or any student psychological issues also would be evaluated. Then the institution, whether has framed the program outcomes and the course outcome and the graduate attributes within the curriculum, and are there embedded them into the assessment process, and is it widely published into the public domain, that is on the website, including the documentation of the attainment of COs also will be assessed in this particular matrices, that is during this online visit. Then there would be a lunch break of 1 o'clock to 2 p.m. Then further, after 2 p.m., the visit continues, wherein which the 50% of the departments or the classrooms, like labs, facilities, then IKS centers, if there is any PET, and that is IPR cell is there, this would be seen. That is, would be seen through the virtual live tour. And this virtual live tour would be enabled along with the on-site peer team members. I mean to say that the offline members as well as the online members would be simultaneously seeing this. Then from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, the session would be much focusing on the research facilities of the institution, wherein which the research facilities like IKS, IPR facilitations, incubation centers, then where are there any facilities or felicitations for the knowledge creation or knowledge enhancement and transfer of the outcomes is there or not, that would be assessed. That the metrics which would be evaluated in this one would be the 3.1.1, where the research facilities have been frequently updated, whether there is policy for research promotion, and that policy is been posted on the website or not, whether it is implemented or not, that would be evaluated. And during this interaction, the dean of the research or any equivalent members should be present, including the members of the IKSL, IPRSL incubation center should be present here. In addition to that, they would be also looking after the incubation that the institution has created, that ecosystem for, especially for the innovations or the IKS, which includes the awareness about the IPR, that is the patents rights. Then when was this IPR established, regarding the incubation centers, any other initiatives, how there is a creation of the technology, what the institution is taking the initiative to transfer those innovative technologies into some commercialization products. These all would be seen. And in addition to that, the peer teams also would be assessing that how many startups have been come out of with this incubation center, what is the role of the university in this incubation centers, and how they are promoting, how they are helping. These all type of questions would be arised during this interaction. And from 5 to 5:30, they will wind up the discussion by the peer team members, and only the peer team members will be discussing on that platform, and no one would be joining over there. Then the day two visit would be starting, and from the day two visit, they will start to visit the extension activities related sites, again through the virtual tour with both the on-site and online peer team, along with the online and on-site peer team members. In this particular session, the peer team members would be interacting with the NCC, NSS coordinators, and other any extra curricular activities coordinators, like any clubs are there, they will be also interacting. So in this particular thing, the peer team members would be asking about the adoption of the villages. What are the activities which have been conducted by the HEIs in these neighboring hoods? Then what are the activities, and those activities, how it has been shown impact on that uh, particular villages, that is especially on the social issues, wherein which there is a holistic development. And any the HA has received any awards for the recognition of the same would also be assessed. So in this particular thing, the HEI has to showcase some case studies, like already it is mentioned in the SSR also, SOPs, that the HEI has to give 4 case studies pertaining to this particular metrics. So the metrics evaluated in this would be from criteria 3, that is 3.6.1, where the outcomes of the extension activities in the neighborhood communities in terms of the impact and sensitizing of the students to the social issues and the holistic development, and awards received during the last 5 years. So this is metrics 3.6.1. And in addition to that, they would be also seeing about 7.1.8, which states that whether the institution has taken the efforts or the initiatives for providing the inclusive environment pertaining to the tolerance, harmony, cultural, religion, linguistic, communal, and socioeconomic, and other such diversities. So, and that ends with this particular criteria, that is the 3.6.1 and 7.1.8. wherein which there would be they will be assessing this. Then further, from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, the peer team members would also interact, have a session with the other the physical infrastructures, like the what are the sports facilities we are having, what are the cultural facilities, a library, ICT facilities. Same again, it would be a virtual tour, including with the online and offline members also. During this visit, they would be looking after the infrastructure details, the cultural details, the sports facilities which are available, the library details, whether the library is automated or not, what type, how many books are there, what type of subscription is there. So all this would be assessed during this 2 hour session, and the footfall of the library would be assessed. Then about the internet facilities, what is the bandwidth of the internet? Then the gender audit also would be assessed, which was been provided in the documentation. Then it is clearly instructed that the institution has particularly keep all the scanned documents of the proof related to the particular metrics for to substantiate the presentation and also the operation. In this matrix, they are going to basically evaluate the criteria number 4, which is the infrastructure one, wherein which 4.1.1, the institution has the adequate infrastructure facilities for teaching, learning, classrooms, laboratories, then ICT enabled facilities, smart classes, LMSs, facilities for cultural and sports activities, yoga centers, indoor and outdoor, etc. This particular matrices will be evaluated. And members who are been seeing this would be the librarian, the ICT in charge, then the concerned supporting staff of that particular visits which they are doing, like the sports facilities, the sports people should be over there. Then in the library, the librarians and people would be there. So all these places would be visited by this peer team members. And in addition to this, the matrix of the fourth criteria that we have already discussed, that is the library, that is whether it is automated or not, whether the digital facilities is there or not, RFIDs are there or not, how many e-resources are there, what are the e-journals, e-books, everything would be assessed there. And the footfall, that is whether the library is being properly utilized by the faculty and the students also would be evaluated. Then it would also check whether the IT facilities have been continuously updating or not. What is the bandwidth of the internet also would be checked. And 4.2.4.2, that is, there is an established procedure for maintaining and utilization of the physical and academic support for the facilities like laboratory, supports, complex computers, etc. So here which we may have a policies of maintenance, maintaining also, or any budget is been allocated for this type of documentation will be verified in this session. Then there would be a lunch break, and further after the lunch break, the peer team would start its interaction with the stakeholders. As in offline visit also, it would do the same. It would be interacting with the students, it would be interacting with the parents, it would be interacting with the alumni, and and the teaching and non-teaching faculty also. Here also, there would be a student interaction with the peer team members, where the peer team members and the students representatives would be there. And especially in this matrices, criteria 5 would be evaluated. What are the guidance the HEI is providing to the students pertaining to the competitive examinations? Any kinds of counseling guidance also would be assessed over here. And in addition to that, whether are there any students representatives who are being placed into the academic and administrative committees and all would also be assessed, and what is their role and how the input has been taken, what is the feedback mechanism from this would be taken, also would be discussed in this session. And they will be having a couple of questions for the students also, which also would be taken for the consideration while report writing. Hope so I'm clear till here. And further, the interaction continues with the alumni interaction, wherein which again the fifth criteria would be evaluated. Here they are basically going to assess what is the role of the alumni, whether how the alumni is been contributing to the higher education in the academics or in other development of the university also would be seen. So it is considered that the institution must provide the registration document of the alumni associations to the peer team members. And if it is submitted in the SSR, they would also be seeing, and a copy of that also can be kept. And it is completely an interaction with the alumni and the peer team members. Further, from 3:30 to 4:30, the peer team would interact with the management committee in order to assess the criteria 6, wherein which they would be seeing the institutional governance, what are the best practices in alignment with the vision and mission of the university, whether the NEP is being implemented or not, how there is the sustained institutional growth, what type of decentralization the university is following, what type of participative institutional governance is in practice, whether is there any institutional prospective plan, whether it is having any long-term and short-term goals, what are the deployment and the milestone in the achievement of the prospective plans, about the rules and regulations at that university, then whether there is a proper appraisal system available for the faculty members, and what type of appraisal is being taken would be also been discussed. In addition to that, regarding the welfare measures which has been produced, which are been given for the employees benefits would also be discussed both for teaching and non-teaching. So during this presentation, the head of the institution, the registrar, the finance officers, the senate and the syndicate members can also be present in this online and offline visits. Further, they would also be seeing whether the university is providing any avenues for the career progression of their employees, how many people have been benefited of it, and what are the strategies of the mobilizations, and how the utilization of the funds or the resources has been done, whether the university is conducting regular audits, both external and internal or not, would be seen over here. So this basically the matrices will be more focusing on 6.1.1, 6.2.1, 6.3.1, 6.4.1, 6.4.3, and 7.1.1. Okay, so these are the basic matrices which will be covered during this discussion. Then further, from 4:30 to 5 o'clock, they will be assessing the facilities of the criteria 7, wherein which there is the provision for the degradable and biodegradable waste or not. Then regarding the green campus initiatives, green audits would be checked. What are the initiatives? What are the activities which has been taken? And then whether the facilities for the differently abled people has been available for the Divyangan people or not. What type of environment has been produced for those Divyangan people? So these particular matrices would be checked. Then even 7.1.9 pertaining to the sensitization of the students and the employees for the institutional and constitutional obligations, their values, rights, and responsibilities. So whatever uploaded in the SSR can also be shown to the peer team members, both online and offline over here. Then for the same, for visiting this facilities like the degradable, non-degradable areas, or even the solar panels, biogas, etc. everywhere, we have to arrange a live video tour along with the on-site members as well as the online members. So during this visit, the head of the institution, the IQAC coordinators, and all the related faculty members to the best practice component can also be present here. Then by 5 to 5:30, they will wind up the session of day 2, and they will get themselves discussed within the peer team members, exclusively only peer team members. And again on day 3, the day starts again from the same timing, that is from 9:30 to 10:30. 9:30 it would be again starting. And here on the beginning of the third day, they will be discussing about the 2 best practices which the university has been displayed in their ESSR, and that would be evaluated. That is the 2 best practices as given in the NAC format would be assist, and also the institutional distinctiveness, that is 7.3 would also be checked. And during this presentation, head of the institution, the IQAC, the coordinators, and other related faculty members to be the part of this component. And from 10:30 to 10:45, the peer team would get in touch with the, that is the interaction with the teaching faculty, non-teaching faculty, they will do. And during this teaching and non-teaching interaction at 2 different times, they would be having a couple of questions wherein which for the teaching and non-teaching, they will be asking about the welfare measures, the incremental things, whether are they satisfied or not, what are the welfare measures they have been getting so far, whether are there promotion policies or what. And then they would be also asking about the provision of the educational things and all, whether they have been sent for the higher education, so are they getting leaves, child care leaves, a number of things whichever we have discussed in the above mentioned things in the governance would also be cross-checked with the faculty members, and also they would ask to recommend three things which are best and three things which they would like to suggest, and accordingly that also could be incorporated into the peer team visit. Then the further it would be followed by the report writing by the peer team, and from 11 onwards the institution, the NAC coordinator would be excluded from this port, means I mean the online visit. So completely the report writing would be in between those peer team members only. And after that, from 2:30 to 3 o'clock, any clarifications or any issues can be also cleared by the peer team members from the head of the institution or the IQAC coordinator. In this session, they may request the HO head of the institution or an IQAC coordinator to clarify any clarifications, because they would be writing the report. And then from 3:15 to 3:30, the discussion report will be held with the head of the institution and the IQAC coordinator. And even here, the peer team members, the head of the IQAC and head of the institution, the IQAC coordinator will be present. The report which is written by the peer team members will be discussed here with these people. Then from 4 to 4:15, there would be a closure remarks by the peer team, that is the head of the institution and the IQAC coordinator and all other faculty members would join for this closure remark. And from 4:15 to 5:30, the confirmation of the score and the submission of the report to the their respective portals, that is the chairman's portal, would be done by the peer team members, and that would be only confined to the peer team members. So in addition, the NAC has also suggested that the peer team may decide to visit any additional sites. As already they said that 50% would be of the choice, but if the peer team feels that they need to visit, they can visit, and also they are free to interact with the stakeholders also if they feel to do so. Then the peer teams, they are also telling the peer teams which are evaluating the specialized institution like law, health, science, Sanskrit universities may suitably adapt as per their schedules. So this is the 3 days visit schedule which is been given by the NAC for the universities. Hope so this video has made clear regarding the SOPs for the upcoming visits for the universities. So in the upcoming videos, we would be also seeing what are the documentations to be kept and how the HEI has to get prepared for the documentation. So in the upcoming videos, I will be discussing criteria, each one criteria wise, from criteria 1 to criteria 7, what are the documentations to be kept so that the HEIs can reflect them during their presentations or during their visits also. Hope so I have made clear about these points, and I request you to subscribe, like, share, and comment on the channel. Once again, thanks for watching. Thank you so much for your patience.